All right, if you've ever stepped onto a doubles pickleball court, you know that exact moment. A ball gets hit right down the middle, and for a split second, nobody knows what to do. Well, in this explainer, we're going to totally transform your game by solving that single point of confusion with a really simple but powerful system.
This right here, this is the question. It's what leads to clashing paddles, partners who just freeze up, and way too many lost points. It's that moment of indecision that can just torpedo a partnership. And your opponents? Oh, they know it. That's why they say middle solves the riddle. But what if there was a clear answer every single time?
Okay, here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at why the middle ball is such a problem. Then, we'll debunk the old school rule everyone follows. After that, I'll introduce you to a game changer called Respect the X. We'll cover all the advantages, and then, finally, we'll talk about how you can truly master it.
So how do most players handle that middle ball right now? Well, most of us rely on this kind of unspoken rule. It's more of a social habit than an actual winning strategy.
You've heard this a million times, right? It's basically the gospel on most courts. And look, the logic seems to make sense. Your forehand is usually your stronger shot, so yeah, let it take control. The best part is you don't even have to talk about it with your partner. It's just the default. But, and this is a big but, this simple rule is actually costing you points.
And now we get to the really fun part, breaking down exactly why that old forehand takes middle rule just completely falls apart under pressure. It's time to stop just following the crowd and start thinking strategically about what actually works. The forehand takes middle idea fails in three huge ways. First, it causes a total mechanical breakdown of your shot. Second, it's basically positional suicide, leaving your court wide open. And third, it creates this subtle problem that we call partner pinning. Let's dig into each one.
Okay, first the mechanics. Just picture it. When you slide sideways to hit that forehand in the middle, you're almost always lunging for a ball that's moving away from you. That forces you into an off-balance reaching swing, which 9 times out of 10 leads to a weak pop-up, the exact shot you're trying to avoid.
Second, your positioning. So the forehand player slides over to take that middle ball. What happens to the space they just left? It's now a gaping hole of open court. A smart opponent sees that instantly and just taps their next shot right into that empty space for an easy winner. You've basically just gift-wrapped them the point.
And here's the hidden killer that almost nobody talks about. When that one player poaches, what does their partner do? They have to stop. They freeze. They can't move up. They can't shift over. They are literally pinned in place, which completely kills your team's ability to move together and get on the offensive.
So if the old way is so broken, what's the answer? It's a super elegant geometric system that comes from Coach Tony Roig. It's called Respect the X, or RTX for short, and trust me, this brings some serious order to all that chaos.
Here's the core idea, and it's incredibly simple. Just imagine a giant X drawn on the court, connecting you and your partner to the opponents across from you. The rule is just this. If the player diagonal from you hits the ball to the middle, it is your ball. That's it. No more guessing.
And this is a huge shift in thinking, right? You're moving from a subjective decision that's based on pure instinct to an objective system that's based on a single clear visual cue. Where did the ball come from? You both see it, so you both know whose ball it is, instantly.
The great thing about RTX is that it's not just some theory. It gives you real, tangible advantages on the court. It directly improves your game in 3 key areas.
And those 3 pillars are mechanical superiority, which means you're going to hit better shots, positional integrity, which means better court coverage, and psychological strength, which leads to way better, more confident teamwork.
Let's talk biomechanics for a second. With RTX, you're now moving to intercept a ball that's coming toward your body, not away from it. This lets you hit a much more balanced, controlled, and effective shot. It proves that a stable backhand is almost always a smarter, higher percentage play than a lunging, off-balance forehand.
Hey, remember that gaping hole we talked about? With RTX, it's gone, vanished. By holding your ground and trusting the system, your team stays like a solid defensive wall. There are no easy openings for your opponents. You start moving together, in sync, almost like you're connected by a rope.
This might be the biggest advantage of them all. RTX gets rid of the doubt. It answers whose ball is it before you even have to ask. That kind of clarity builds predictability. And with that comes a huge amount of trust between you and your partner. And that trust, that's the foundation of every great doubles team.
So this chart here is really the tail of the tape.
When you look at every single factor, movement, mechanics, court coverage, decision-making, partner trust, Respect the X is just a smarter, more effective system for modern doubles pickleball. The old way creates risk, RDX creates reliability. It's that simple.
But here's where we take it to the next level, because truly mastering a system isn't just about following the rules blindly. It's about knowing, with 100% intention, exactly when you should break them.
So what's the golden rule here? You don't break the X just because you want to hit your forehand. You break it only when you have a clear, high-probability shot to win the point right then and there. It has to be a calculated tactical move, not just slipping back into an old bad habit.
So when is it okay? Well, first, for an aggressive poach on a weak, high ball that you know you can put away. Second, to attack a specific opponent's weakness. Third, to cover for your partner if they get pulled way out of position. And finally, to take time away from your opponents by cutting the ball off early.
I want you to think of RTX as your rally stabilizer. You know those chaotic points, the scrambles, the speed-ups, where everything feels like it's about to fall apart? That's when the system really shines. Instead of panicking, RTX gives you a clear default, letting your team absorb pressure, stay in the rally, and wait for a better shot.
And really, the most important thing to get here is that RTX isn't some super rigid rule. It's a system that grows with you. For beginners, it's a simple tool to get rid of confusion. For intermediate players, it's a strategic framework. And for advanced players, it becomes their default operating system for the entire game.
And that brings us to the final question. Next time you're on the court, take a look at your game and ask yourself this. Are you and your partner just hitting shots back and forth? Or are you actually working together inside a shared system that's designed to win? The answer might just change everything.